Hi, I'm Mike Rooney. This is free art lessons on how to simplify shapes, which is very important to do. A lot of times people say, oh, I just paint so tight, I'm so tight, what do I do, what do I do? Well, you simplify. Use a much bigger brush than you're used to. Don't see every little nook and cranny of the shape, and try to make it blocky and very simple, and that will help you to stay away from that tight rendered look that so many people despise, but that's the way they paint. Okay, so let's take an example. How would we do it? Well, Mike, what are you talking about? I don't know what you mean. Now, if I gave this to a lot of people, and this is already a painting, and I've already simplified it, but imagine there was a tree out there. This tree would look a lot more sophisticated, and a lot more would be going on than is going on in my painting. But look how I've simplified it. Okay, you can tell it's a palm, because I gave you the gesture of the tree. I didn't show you every leaf and every frond that hung down. Yeah, I'd be out there for 3 weeks if I painted everything the way I saw it. So what you have to do is you have to simplify it. When you're out there or you're looking at your photo that you're reproducing in your studio, let's just take a green paint and just fool around with it, and let me show you what I mean. I wish I had a picture of a palm tree, but you can just imagine how difficult a palm tree would look, or how varied it would look and very detailed. What you do is just look at the gesture of it. What's it basically doing? And then you just chunk it in with a big brush. Now, I should use one even bigger than that, probably be even better, a better example. Use the biggest brush you can get away with. Now, you're looking at that brush, you say, no way he's going to make a palm tree with that size brush. Well, yes, I am. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a green, and I'm going to look at the gesture of the tree, and I'm just going to stroke it on there. So there's a piece that comes like that. There's a piece that comes down like that. This part goes up. It's basically thick in the middle, like so, and then down like that in the back. And that is the gesture of the tree. Now, don't you know it didn't have these blocky ends and all that stuff? That's okay. So to make it more sophisticated, we are going to take the blue and put a little bit of dark blue into it and make a shape within a shape. So we're going to leave this very chunky looking. We know that's not how it is, but we're going to make a shape within a shape. So I just darkened it to the bottom and to the right, and a couple of these up here, and just kind of make it a little more form. Now I'm going to go in there and wash this out and make a little bit of light green. So I'm going to take a green that's much lighter and much warmer than this one. See how I'm mixing it right next to it? And I'm going to put that on top of it. And I'm going to one stroke it. Again, don't two stroke it, three stroke it. Just put light on it where it needs it. All right, so a little bit of light there, a little bit of light there and there. I'm still keeping those chunky ends because I'm going to build the form of it and then come back and fool with it. Now this one needs a little bit of shadow behind here to look real. All right, and I'm just going to fix it up just a little bit. Now see how it's starting to take on form? Now once I get the form and I get the shadows the way I want them and everything's working out like it should, I'm going to go in and I'm going to paint what's around it. And I'm still going to leave it nice and chunky and nice and thick, blocky. You know, I'm not trying to get in there and do all this little stuff like that. Forget that. I'll show you how to do that in a minute. Take the blue, make some light blue, and paint the sky around it. Paint right up to the chunky parts. So basically here's that. Now that's what's nice about having an orange background. And I talked in some other free art lessons about having different colors for your background. That orange under there is a nice trick because I don't have to paint right up to the green. I can go almost to the green and then quit and let that little line of orange pop out. Now sometimes I do touch it, other times I don't, but I try real hard to stay out of that green so I don't get green into my blue. Now I'm following the lines exactly in certain places, and other places I'm not. I'm going right up to it in some places, and some places I'm staying away from it. Now there's my sky. Now it's still real chunky, real blocky, so I don't want that. Now's the time to come in, change brushes, and get those two and just bring them down a little bit into the blue. And just break the edge. See, I just came down and I broke the edge. I came down and made it a little bit thinner. And what's happening in reality is that green is mixing with that blue. As it runs down into the blue, it's mixing together. So it looks like it belongs. So if you've studied enough palm trees, and as I've said before, I think you ought to go every winter and study palm trees in Key West, and you will get good at it. Now see how I'm giving it more and more variety as I get it more and more finished. I didn't try to put the candles on the cake while I was still building the cake, while I was still baking it. See? Now this one can come out, and I can just add a few leaves on it, and see how it mixed right there? And it seems to belong in that blue because parts of the green are in the blue. Then you can come in here and make a few little holes, like some birds could fly through. Soften them a little bit. Now soften some edges. Make it look like that tree belongs on that blue. And paint the trunk, and that'll be it. There's the trunk. And you see how you started off with a real chunky, blocky thing, but all of a sudden now it looks like it has leaves and all that stuff. But you do the chunky, blocky simplification first, then come back once you give it form and begin to give it false detail. It looks like it has a lot of detail, but it doesn't. I was just making strokes that come down that kind of look like leaves, and your mind makes you think that that looks like a palm tree with leaves hanging down. So I hope you enjoyed that lesson on how to simplify things. I think it'll make your paintings look better, more painterly. If you'd like to see more about me, please go to mikerooneystudios.blogspot.com.